Well, hey, YouTube, Petey Two Finger here. It's morning time here in Chicago. I'm having some coffee and some juice, grapefruit juice. So this morning I woke up and I logged into my Facebook. We got this Dell laptop, which it's got a 1 terabyte hard drive with 8 gigs of RAM. It's better than the laptop that my wife's using right now. So it's locked out. It's asking for a Windows password. It's Windows 10. Now, with Windows 10, you need to log in to be able to factory restore it, which it used to not be that way. So that's kind of a huge middle finger to the consumer, because if there's a problem, you used to be able to go in and factory restore without a password. Now you need a password to do that, which I don't know why you would think that's a good idea. I'm sure the guy who thought of that got a huge bonus and a raise from Bill Gates or whatever, whoever's running Microsoft now. So I'm dealing with that. When you power it up, there's an image. It's a photograph of the guy who owned the laptop with his girlfriend, and there's his name. So of course, my wife went and found him on Facebook, and he doesn't use his name; he uses a nickname, but we still found him. And I sent him a message and a friend request, and made a video. I held up the laptop on the screen, showing his image, and said, "Hey, look at, someone garbage picked your computer you threw out, and I ended up with it. And we're not hackers; we're good people. We just need the password so we can wipe it. I wanna factory restore the laptop, and I'm not able to do that. If you could find it in your heart to give me the password, I'll wipe it live on Skype. I'm set this up. You don't trust me, tell me what it is on Skype, and I'll go right in and do it, and then you can not worry about it." So, of course, he's not answering back either. I really think he doesn't use the account, is what it is, because he's not a big social media guy. He had a Twitter in 2015 that he used twice and then abandoned it. So I'm guessing that he doesn't even log into that. So there's a bunch of partitions on this, different recovery partitions. I'm going to try to delete the partition that has the operating system on and just install it on there. See if I can do that. If not, I can mess around and do like a low level formatting and just wipe the whole disk somehow, by removing it from this machine, putting it as a slave, and just wipe it. Get rid of all those partitions, and then install my uh, wonky Windows disk that I use, which I would much rather use the factory restore, because then it'll be a legitimate Windows install, and it'll have those recovery partitions. I want that. That's nice to have. So, should at least try to do it the right way before you go in and completely brain surgery the thing. So, that's why this morning when I woke up, I went right in and checked my Facebook, and of course, more bad news. We had tickets. My daughter had purchased 4 tickets for the whole family to go see Faith No More here at the World Music Theater. It's called something else now. Anyway, they were coming with Korn and a band called Helmet, which I would be excited to see all 3 of those bands. I'm not a Korn fan. I do not like uh, new metal, but sometimes, I don't know, like I would go to a Motley Crue show and just laugh so hard at how bad it is, and like the drum kit going upside down and all that. I would have such a good time at that, mocking it, just how everyone's all like doing this the whole time. Like, sometimes I'll go to a show that I don't really support the artist, just to kind of take it all in. Like I always say, anytime you go to a rock show, you'll see something there that you would never see unless you were at the rock show. And that's the moments that I really live for. I love seeing that, people falling down. spilling their beer, stuff like that. Something, beer they paid $18 for, four of them. There's $70 on the ground. So yeah, they canceled the tour, and I was just waiting for this day to happen. I knew, it's in September. So the bad part of it is I've never seen Faith No More, and they were a huge part of the soundtrack of our family coming up. Like, I have this little pedal boat filled with unnecessary electronics. You can check out that video if you've never seen the Crazy Boat video on this channel. Check that out. It's worth your time. It's worth checking out. The amount of unnecessary electronics that we crammed on this boat was ridiculous. And it's really something to see, especially at night when we fire up all the lights and the disco ball and everything. So check it out. And typically we would run 19 and a half miles with the current on our back, wind on your face. We would stop halfway through with a propane grill, cook some burgers, jump back on the boat, and then finish up the rest of the trip. But it was like I would kind of play certain bands. Like, you would start off with Faith No More, then you would go into Buckethead. Then there would be a little bit of a mix of different stuff in there. If I had some new stuff, I would play it. Then we would go into Mr. Bungle Mode or Phantomus. So Y2K through to 2006 was a very exciting time to be a Mike Patton fan. Faith No More was defunct, but he kind of went nuts and was working really hard. It was project of all these guest appearances and side bands left and right. So he started a record label, which enabled a lot of that, and there was a lot of touring. So we were lucky. We've seen Tomahawk, which is a great band. That's Dwayne Dennison as the drummer. He's in Helmet, which is one of the bands that was canceled. He also plays in a band called Battles, which I love Battles. The guitar player for Tomahawk was in the Jesus Lizard. Dwayne Dennison's got a real unique percussive guitar style. Tomahawk was just a super interesting band. They kind of were in the same wheelhouse of the aggressive, punkish side to Faith No More, but he was using the distorted vocals with a CB mic and a gas mask. He had a Chaos pad that he would run with a mini mixer, and he would have a couple of mics. Like, one mic would have all kinds of, would go through the Chaos pad, and the other mic would be straight, and then he would have the distortion on the CB mic, or put the gas mask on for the longer durations of distorted vocals. And he had two Marshall half stacks sitting at a V angle. So he's standing there, and there's two Marshalls with the distorted vocals coming out of him. And he would put all of his mini mixer and his Chaos pad and all that stuff would sit, circuit bent toys. And that was the same rig he used in all of the bands that he played in, with the exception of Faith No More. He doesn't use that. He's all over the stage in Faith No More, and he will use a megaphone at times. I've actually seen him with a megaphone with a mic mounted to it. So he's got the megaphone, but there's a mic on the end of it sticking out too, which is, it's pretty cool. And I've seen him use the Chaos pad, but he doesn't have the Marshalls out there. He'll have it on a stand, a mic stand, and it'll be off to the side near the back. So I've seen him do a little bit of that with Faith No More. Like I said, we've never seen him live, but every time they've ever streamed a show, like they did a reunion, and the whole family sat on this couch and watched that live stream. It was just fantastic. Like today, they put up a stream from 2015 Hellfest. So you can go over to faithnomore.com or on their Facebook and check that show out today. If you're a fan, or If you haven't checked them out since the reunion, give them a shake. It's definitely, they're a great band. You know, they really are. The thing about Faith No More is they were super popular in Europe, not so much in the States. The United States doesn't get Faith No More. And understandably, it's not the type of thing that you hear it on the first listen and it clicks. All of it, some of it's kind of hard to digest. But yeah, it's just one of those bands. Like, we've seen a lot of shows, and we never missed a Phantomist tour. We saw Mr. Bungle once. Phantomist was just incredible. There's a show on YouTube called the Director's Cut on New Year's Eve. Highly recommended. It's a really cool edit of a show they did on December 31st. That's definitely worth checking out. If you don't know about Phantomas, they're a very unique band. Typically, there's no vocals. It's just rock cliche or speaking in tongues. And their second album, there is actual lyrics on that. That's by far the most accessible. It's horror movie or thriller movie, scary movie soundtrack music. So it's like the theme from The Godfather, Rosemary's Baby, The Exorcist, Cape Fear. All just really cool, classic movie Hitchcock. There's all kinds of, just Spider Baby. I think Enrico Morricone, maybe there's one of him on there. So yeah, Patton is one of those standout artists who was a major part of our family's soundtrack. We always listened to that stuff. My kids knew all about it when they were coming up. Front row at the Tomahawk show on her birthday, my daughter, her first like kind of alternative show or more underground band show, front row center. She stood on the railing and Patton came out and sang the whole first song looking right into her eyes. we met him after the show and took a photo with him. I told him about the family band. I told him she wears a gas mask mic going through a fuzz box, and she's got a CB mic. He didn't bat an eye or snicker, which everybody that I ever told about that band, they would always snicker and laugh about it like something was funny about me telling them that I had a gas mask or a CB mic for my daughter through a dirt box. You know, people didn't want to hear it. Like they wanted to get away from me telling them that, and the reaction was they would laugh when I would get to that bit. And Patton did not blink an eye. He said, "Well, you know what they say: start them when they're young." And we took a photo with him, which didn't turn out. So yeah, it's a sad day. I really wish I would have been able to, like this pandemic thing wouldn't have. I mean, what can I say? You know, it's probably a good thing, I guess. You know, I'm not one of these people who's like, it's all a bunch of, it's fake, it's not real. You know, my mom is in a old folks home, and 43 people out of 65 died.
No. I think 43 people had it. 18 people died, or something like that.
I stand corrected. 43 people got it out of 65. 18 people died. So when that goes into that, well, I don't know anybody that was affected by it. I do. So that being said, it's probably a good thing, obviously, that the tour is canceled. At the same time, I've never seen Faith No More. You know, I just found out today. My daughter didn't even know. Thank goodness it popped up, because it was like, Faith No More says, see ya in 2021, and check out this stream from Hellfest 2015. And I went to further into their thing and scrolled down, and it turns out May 29th they announced that this was canceled, and all of us were unaware. None of us realized it, including my daughter who bought the tickets, who needs to know, because you have to go and log in and handle how you want to do the refund. And you have 30 days to do that, so there's a 10-day window left. So I'm really happy that this happened when it did, so she's able to get her money back. But at the same time, it's like, am I ever going to get to see Faith No More live? I know I will just be in tears the whole time. I'll be laughing and in tears. If you've never seen Mike Patton perform live, or at least on video, you need to check that out. He's anything that guy's involved with is typically solid gold. Now, unless it's a hip hop rap thing, or he does some noise projects where he's just screaming. For me, the balance in that weird, super weird stuff where it's kind of not music was Phantomus, because it was songs, and all of their albums. They've got 4 albums. They're all unbelievably great. So yeah, I love Phantomus. Mr. Bungle, perhaps my favorite band of all time. We only got to see them once, and it was a crappy deal too. It was a multi-mega tour where they had a bunch of bands, you know, a bunch of alternative bands, and then they came up there for 40 minutes and just owned everybody. They were so much better than any of the bands that played on it, and it was weird too. It was super weird, Mr. Bungle live. But never seen Faith No More. It's always like I'll be in the bathroom with a copy of the Illinois Entertainer, which is our local free music publication, and I'll be flipping through the pages and I'll see Faith No More at the Aragon Ballroom, and I'll look at it like, oh, I gotta get tickets, and it'll be like the show happened the day before. Like it'll be the 20th of June when I'm in the bathroom, and the date of the show is like June 19th. You know, it's always been like that, and this has bothered me and bothered me and bothered me going all the way back to when Angel Dust, their second album, I missed that. They played. I knew about it. We were having a kid, and it was right around the time when the baby was gonna, something like that. I was getting married. I forget what it was. How I justified not, like, oh, I'll see him another time. And then years later, my best friend Billy King, this guy who died when he was 31 from shooting cocaine, his girlfriend Spacey Tracy, we were tight. And we were sitting around partying one night, drinking beers, and talking about concerts. And she said, I saw Faith No More. And I was like, are you kidding me? And she was like, yeah, the Angel Dust tour. And I was just I was like, tell me it was bad. Tell me there was technical problems, or his voice was blown out. And she was like, no, it was the best concert I ever saw. I was like, oh, man. Why me? Spacey Tracy saw Faith No More, and I didn't get to see him, because I've got everything they've ever recorded. You know, I've got all the B-sides. I'm a huge Faith No More. Mike Patton can do no wrong. Like I said, apart from the hip hop and the rap stuff, what was that Peeping Tom thing he did? He did one album with these turntable guys called General P versus the Executioners, and that's awesome. That's a great. I love the music. It's my wife really liked that one too. And then the Crank 2 soundtrack was the one that you and Dahlia used to really love listening to.
I don't remember that. I think it was General P that you're getting confused. I don't know.
No, you guys would listen to it in the car taking her to school. No, it was the Crank 2.
In the blue Volvo. I don't know.
She's forgetting about it.
Yeah, I'm old now.
All right, you guys. I'll see you soon. Hopefully, at one point, you know. I mean, that's the thing. Like I mentioned, they don't really tour in the States, so there's a lot of dates in Europe with that band, and they don't really come through. The last time we were like all stoked about it was they played at some tiny venue.
Yeah, I
like
think it was like 2015 or
2015.
something, maybe. It was in
They
May,
came.
and we tried to get tickets.
Everybody was on the phone. I was on the phone trying to get tickets. My wife and my daughter.
We were online at the college.
Trying to get these tickets, and all of them sold out. None of the fans got tickets. They were all bought out by scalpers. So that was really unfortunate. And the band actually apologized to everybody for that, because that was what happened. The scalpers got them all, and I just wasn't. I'm not going to pay $200 for a ticket to see anybody. You
4
know,
people to go see.
really, like 75 is about my limit. That's a lot of money to me. You know, I gave Roger Waters like 120, and that was canceled, and that's postponed. So I'm gonna get to see him, and I don't know what he's gonna do. He was gonna do in the round political thing. This is not a drill. The people that are running the world are gonna we're gonna die. You know, they're gonna run it into the ground, and we're gonna die because of pollution or war or whatever. And he was gonna tour just the United States right up until a week before the election. The tour would end, and then that's all canceled now. So I heard something. He was talking about a screenplay about people in a bar talking about politics or something. So I don't know if that's what we're going to see. We're going to see this like stage play, the screenplay he wrote, which I hope it is. The more theatrical thing, like that's if I'm buying a Roger Waters ticket and he's charging me extra for it, it's like 120. It was supposed to be theater in the round, which was I'm like, I don't know how that's going to work. You know, I want to see a big spectacle with a screen or something. If it's Waters, I want to see some kind of a production, not just in the round with him spinning around up there, talking about how much he hates Trump. I mean, so we have to see what he's going to do. I'm confident that that will be mind-blowingly great. The last time I saw him, I said it was the best concert I've ever seen in my life. It was just like, it was so unbelievably good. I saw it with my daughter. It was her first Water show. Well, she had seen him when she was real little, and she was just like blown away. And a few other people that I know who are like lifelong concert goer, like real deal rock and roller types, said the same thing, that it was the best thing they've ever seen. So I've seen some good ones. You know, we got to see Paul McCartney a couple times. I've seen just a ton of bands. King Crimson was one of those shows that just completely blew my mind. Like, unbelievable level of musicianship. Really cool thing that we saw. But I've never seen Faith No More. So, all right, you guys, wish me luck. Thanks for hanging out with me here. Me complaining that Faith No More canceled their tour because of COVID. I know it's a stupid thing, but please feel sorry for me. I've never seen them. And please don't. Well, you know what? I'll have the comments shut off. I don't want a bunch of people coming and saying, I saw Faith No More. I didn't even like them. I bought tickets because I wanted to see the Red Hot Chili Peppers open for them or something. I wanted to see Enya. I bought tickets because the Juggalos opened up for them. I don't want to hear that. All right, you guys. Sorry about the goofy voice.